Lots of people of all ages and backgrounds take part in all types of activity at the Royal Exchange Theatre.
Our activities take place at the theatre and in community spaces, for example, schools and libraries across Greater Manchester.
And people also engage with us online and via our website and social media platforms.
Creating and maintaining safe spaces is really important to us.
We do this for everyone.
For people of all ages,
Genders,
Sexual orientation or identity,
Racial heritage,
religious beliefs and cultures,
Health conditions,
those with or without impairments,
and from any model of family life.
This film is for anyone wanting to learn more about our safeguarding policy. This includes freelancers, staff, volunteers, participants, audience and partners.
It will give you an overview of our safeguarding policy, including the key definitions of abuse and who to speak to if you have a concern about someone.
And what to do if you're worried about something happening to you. It will give examples of what a concern might look like.
And it should be viewed alongside our safeguarding policy, which is available on our website.
Abuse can be carried out by anyone.
And there are different forms of abuse.
Abuse might be happening to you.
Or it might be happening to someone else.
In child safeguarding, there are 4 categories of abuse.
And in adult safeguarding, there are 10.
For child safeguarding, the categories are physical,
Emotional,
Sexual,
And neglect.
And for adult safeguarding, they are
physical,
domestic violence or abuse,
Sexual.
psychological or emotional,
financial or material,
modern slavery,
discriminatory,
organisational or institutional,
Neglect or acts of omission.
and self-neglect.
You can look at these policies online to find definitions of each of the categories of abuse.
A child is defined as anyone who has not yet reached the 18th birthday.
And any adult has the potential to be at risk.
Remember, if you have a concern, you must speak to someone. Safeguarding is everyone's responsibility.
The Director of Engagement and a member of our board, the Chair of the People's Committee, lead on and take final responsibility for safeguarding at the theatre.
We have 10 designated safeguarding officers or DSOs.
If you have a concern, you should speak to a DSO.
The DSOs are in various roles across the organisation,
including producers in our engagement team,
Our company manager,
The HR lead,
as well as some of our visitor experience managers.
You can find out who the current DSOs are by looking at the photo lists, which can be found on the Green Room notice board, at Stage Door and on our website.
You can speak with the DSO if you are worried about your own safety. Maybe something's happening to you outside the theatre.
For example, you might be in a relationship that doesn't feel right. Perhaps you don't feel in control, or you're being made to do things that you're not comfortable with.
or maybe you're a young person who's really struggling with your mental health and you're not getting support from anyone in your life to help you cope.
The DSO will listen and help you decide what you would like to happen next.
Sometimes the DSO may need to act. So remember, they might not be able to keep everything you've told them a secret. We won't tell everyone, but we may need to take some action to protect you and others around you.
You can also speak with a DSO if you have concerns about someone else's safety.
You might be worried about someone else because of something that is happening to them at the moment, or something that's happened in the past that they need help and support with.
It might be that you've seen or heard something that doesn't feel right.
Maybe it's someone's behaviour.
You might overhear some young people talking in a highly sexualised way, which feels inappropriate.
Or you see a child or adult who seems distressed in some way.
If you see or hear something that doesn't feel right, speak with the DSO.
Remember, it's not our responsibility to judge whether abuse is taking place.
But it's everyone's responsibility to act and report on concerns or suspicions that we may have.
The Royal Exchange Theatre will protect and support anyone who in good faith reports their concerns about abuse of children or adults at risk.
You should also report any of the following.
If you accidentally hurt a child or adult at risk.
If a child or adult at risk misunderstands or misinterprets something you have done.
And if physical intervention is required to manage challenging behaviour.
You can raise a concern in person with the DSO, who may ask you to complete a simple form, or by completing a concern report form yourself with as much detail as possible.
The forms are available at stage door and front of house office.
And for staff who have access to Teams, they are saved in company shared info.
You can also talk to any member of staff about something that is worrying you, about yourself or someone else, and they may speak to a DSO on your behalf.
Once a concern has been raised, it is the role of the DSO to decide on the next appropriate steps.
Safeguarding is a really important part of the work we do.
And everyone has a role to play in that.
There are lots of written policies to help staff.
And lots of friendly and knowledgeable people to ask if you have questions.
So, remember,
Play your part.
And if you're worried about anything at all, we encourage you to speak to someone here so we can try and help.